Space is one of those things that I think almost everyone is inspired by.
It was a rather unconventional childhood, wasn't it?
We had a fabulous lifestyle. Our home that Elon and Kimball grew up in is today the home of the European ambassador to the Southern Africa region. So you can really imagine it's a rather nice house in probably a suburb which is called Waterkloof, which is better than Beverly Hills. They had a good upbringing. They had a fine upbringing. We had a yacht from very on. They always had an airplane from before they were born. There was always an airplane. And we traveled extensively overseas to all the different countries, so that by the ages of probably from 12 to 15, they'd been to most major cities in the world. Yes, I was very good at maths. So I honestly, I can say that without being silly. I was unbelievably good at maths. It was natural to me. It was like a language, natural language. I received a phone call. Oh, the American ambassador. He phoned me to say that, do you know that Elon and Kimball have sold their business for $52 million? I was absolutely amazed. $52 million. I couldn't believe it. And so I said, I'm going to go over. So I got on a plane and I went over there, but only to find out that it actually sold it for 10 times as much as that. It wasn't 52 million, it was 500 million. And I was, it was just gobsmacked. I didn't know what to say, it was amazing. And he said he's going to start he's going to build a rocket. Now, I built rockets as a kid, what you call amateur rocketry, and I was saying to someone that was just child stuff, but in fact, one fellow lost his hand, so I suppose it wasn't that childish.
Do you think your son is a man who should hold this degree of power and wealth?
Well, yes, he's certainly got the ability. When you talk about politics, I remember in this country, the president of this country once saying to me that when I queried the way he was running South Africa, when I have to run the country, I have to include all the poor and the people who are not so bright and the people who are crippled and the people who can't understand. I have to cater for everybody, not just for the A group. And Elon is used to working always with the A group. So if he really got into politics, he would find himself severely, I imagine, like me, he would find himself very frustrated when he has a plan to say, send a rocket to Mars, and he's told, yes, but we'd rather have to spend this money alleviating problems that a group of people have somewhere else. I'm sure he'd understand the need to help them, but his vision would be not to be a sort of caretaker person, like you have to be as a president of this country at once only, but rather to think of doing bigger things. So I think the political world would have a crushing effect on his approach to things. But I think every parent wants to see their child go off and make a great success of their life and not live with them in the basement. And the way you raise children, in my opinion, is to make them as independent as possible. So, as May herself, their mother, has said, other people struggle to get their children out of the house. We, on the other hand, have struggled to keep our children in the house. Now, that May said that, not me. So that tells you the story. I think, looking back, I had become a very offhand husband, took things for granted. I was very spoiled. Everything that we had touched had just turned to gold. I mean, we were top of the social scene in this country. We were top of the financial scene. We were top of the political scene. And, it was not good for me at that early age of early 30s to be in a position like that. And I really, I think I took May a lot for granted. She was a very wonderful wife. And it was amazing that she, put up with playing second fiddle to me all those years. She showed later on that she was capable of much more. I think a father I'm very hands-on. I try to be there. As Elon once said about his family, every day is Christmas in his family because we buy things for the kids all the time. In fact, he learned that from me because in our family, and now as well with the kids, every day is Christmas. It becomes a problem because we don't know what to buy them for Christmas because every day they've had Christmas all through the year, every time we get together. So kind of difficult to find something that's more expensive on a Christmas, The third time I married Heidi, who's the daughter of my two daughters, Alexandra and Rose. And yes, we married in 1992. And yeah, we were married for about 2.5 years or so, and didn't work out. We divorced. We had Ali at that point, and she went off and she married another man, and she was married to him for 3 years. And then she left him, and then we met up again and we remarried. And then we had Rose, and we went on for about until the early 2000s, and we also threw in the towel. But we still see each other quite often, you know. My third wife, Heidi, she had a daughter, Jana, who Heidi and I separated in 2004, so I never really saw Jana for the next 10 years or so. And she phoned me or sent me an email in about the year 2014 or 15. She said that she's in desperate state of affairs and she doesn't know what to do. And I showed the letter to my family, and they said, well, just leave her. She was too bad. I thought that's not really right. And then I did go and see her, and I found that she was in a terrible state. She was living in a storeroom in a disused shopping center with a male friend, boyfriend or whatever. And she was as thin as a rake. I mean, I've never seen anyone so thin as that. And so I started helping her, and this went on. She continued to stay there. I tried to make things better for her by trying to rent something, but didn't really work out. But somehow I kept her going with food and toiletries, which was very important to me, and I provided her with a car. And then shortly, about 18 months, 2 years later, she phoned me one day to say that she's been thrown out by this chap, and she doesn't know what to do. So she had this truck of mine, pickup. So I said, well, you know, put your stuff in the back of the pickup, just throw it all in and come here. And so she came here, and she stayed here, and that was the end of it. You know, we didn't have a sort of committed relationship or anything, but we got on very, very well, which was amazing to me in a way. I don't know, it was just wonderful. I love her dearly, and I still do. And she came to me and said she's pregnant, and then I thought, well, it can't be me. Surely it can't be me, because I didn't know what she was doing privately, because she was going out a lot, and I, in fact, bought her a better car at that point, a Mini Cooper, and she was driving around and going to places. I didn't know what she was doing. I never queried where she was, and she came and went. We live in a big house. So I said, well, it can't be me. She said, well, you're the only one that I've been with. So I said, oh, okay, well. So I had a DNA test done in Canada, you know, samples sent to Canada. They sent the results back saying that 99.9% that I'm the father. She had the child, and he's wonderful. He's probably the most wonderful child I've ever known. You know, he's now 6 years old, incredibly smart. He's just got his first iPad. So, you know, he's a very smart kid and beautiful looking.